Hello friends, this is Sam. Today we will see how to develop SOAP based web service in TIBCO BW 6.x. SOAP, what is the meaning of that? SOAP means Simple Object Access Protocol. Okay, so what we are planning to do now, we will develop the SOAP based web service, which is addition web service. And what that SOAP based addition web service will do, from client it will take two numbers as input and it will return result of addition as the output. So let us build this SOAP based web service. Let us start TIBCO Business Studio first. So I'm opening TIBCO Business Studio. Create the new application module. So I'm creating new application module. I'm calling it as SOAP based web service 1. So create empty process, I'm good with that. So next, then all defaults are good for me. Next, and these folders are also okay for me, and then finish. Now, first thing, let us go to processes and let us develop your process as service. So you can see one green icon over here. Just go there, click on that, and you will create the new WSDL basically. So we are okay with the operation name add, interface name process. Basically this particular step will create the new WSDL. So that's fine. We are okay with the output. By default output is selected. We are okay with that. Click on next. So it will create new schema. So let it be created. No worries about that. Let's click on finish. So because of this step, what happened? This process is getting developed as the service which contains operation add. Now let us implement this operation add inside this process. So right click, instead of right click, do one thing, drag and drop this add operation inside the process. So I just dragged and dropped it here, and then you select implement operation. So whenever you say implement operation, you will see two activities are added by default in the process. One is this add-in activity. If you go to properties, you will see that it is receive activity, and this add out activity is nothing but the reply activity. So this will receive two parameters and this will return the result basically. So let us implement that logic. So for this receive process, is it a process really? No, this is an activity. So for this receive activity, let us define parameters. So I go to output editor and here I create two parameters. So I say number 1, make it as an integer, and let's save that. So it's not got saved. Save it properly by selecting integer as the data type. So you can see it got selected now. Number 1 is the integer. Add one more element. So just click on this button and change the name and make the data type as integer. Save. I just save that. You can say number 1, number 2 are added. Then reply activity. Let us configure this result. So let's call it as result, which will be addition result. Okay, it will be addition result. What it will do will be integer, and save it. So still it's not selected, it seems. Sometime it happens. Just save it. So result is integer. Just calculate the result now. Here have number 1 and number 2 added inside that. So make it as result. Number 2, add it. Okay, so as we know, here we will be creating a SOAP based web service which will calculate the addition. So we just wrote that business logic in the web service. Save that. Now what do? You need to create the SOAP binding for this service so that this web service can be invoked using SOAP. So this will become SOAP based web service. Right now it is just a service, but then it will become SOAP based web service. So let us right click here on this green icon, right click and go to component process and just say create SOAP binding. Now we know that SOAP is using HTTP protocol as a transport. So once you select this SOAP service binding, you can see that here in the transport we need to select HTTP. So we will be using SOAP over HTTP. So select HTTP. Right now there is no HTTP connection. So it is asking you whether you want to create the new shared resource. So we are okay to create that. Let's create that. HTTP connector resource will be created. Finish that. Okay. Now, once you created HTTP connection resource, do one thing, just check out the port number. So in the resources folder, you will have that HTTP connection resource. The port number is by default 8080. Okay. So what we want to do, we want to change it to some other port. Let's say 9393. Any port you can use. So I just say 9393. That port is getting used. Now let me go to SOAP service binding again, and here I will create the concrete WSDL. So basically, what is the role of concrete WSDL? So this concrete WSDL will be generated by this particular web service developer. That WSDL will be handed over to client, and client will use that WSDL to connect to this web service. Okay, so concrete WSDL will be used by client to connect to the SOAP based web service. So right now we are generating it and saving that WSDL on the hard disks. Let's do that. So click on generate concrete WSDL. Just select the location. So let me select the location properly. So I selected the location, say OK, and give the name to the WSDL file. So let me call it as add WSDL.WSDL. So I just gave some name and let it be as it is and just say finish. So WSDL is created, which will be used by client. Okay. Now let us do one thing. Be careful about one configuration here. For that HTTP connection resource, you can see that the host name is bw.host.name. By default, the value of that is localhost. So where you can see this module variable, basically module property. So if you go to module properties and if you go to system, you will able to see that bw.host.name. So that is localhost. Okay. So in case localhost doesn't work, we may give the absolute host name of our machine. Let's see that whether it works or not. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us keep this executing. So let us execute that. So my debugger is starting. Okay, so SOAP based web service, I want to execute that. So apply and debug. So I want it to be started in the execution state, and it should be in the listening state. Let's see that. Let's wait till the BW application is got started. So it's still starting. So you can see that engine got started, deployment got happened, everything is fine. Okay, let's see that whether it is in running mode or not. Let me stop it. I don't know what's happening. Let me run it once again. Okay, debug. Okay, so all application dependencies started BW application. This should come. Okay, so it got started now. Now let us do one thing. What I want basically, your soap based web service is running. It is running on which port? 9, which port we have given basically. Let me check it out once again. If I go to the design view and if I check out the component, and if I check out the this one 9393, so my soap based web service is running on 9393 port of localhost. Now we want a client basically which will send soap request to this particular web service. So we don't have any client now, so what we will do, we will basically install soap UI client and it will be acting like a dummy client for this web service. So where you can get soap UI, so if you Google it out, you will easily get it. Download soap UI. So soap UI you will download. Okay, so you can go here and basically once you click on that, you can go here and you can download the soap UI over here. After you install that, you will get soap UI here. So you can start that soap UI from here. Okay, let me show that how to do it. My soap UI is already running. Let me close it. Okay, it got closed. Now go to soap UI client and start that. My soap UI client is starting. Okay, allow access, that's fine. Now let us create the new soap project. So click on this soap button, project name. So let me call it as my soap client, and let us select the WSDL which we have created. So that is in this folder. So let's take that and you will see WSDL are here. So that is add WSDL basically. So let me select it and let me say okay. Now here you can see the add operation is there and request is there. So what you can do, you can just fill in this request, that is nothing but XML. So fill that with number 1. So number 1 and this one is number 2. And once you run that, it should connect with the web service and it should send you, it should show you the reply XML in this right hand side box. Let's see that. I just run it. Okay, so here I'm getting the error connection refuse. So when it happens basically, whenever whatever host name you are giving in the HTTP connection, that is wrong. So sometimes that local host doesn't work there. So let us do one thing. Let us find out the host name over here, or let us try to give localhost value directly over there. Just try to do that. Let us come here, and instead of this variable name, let me maybe take literal value, and here I will add localhost. Let's see whether this works. Save. And after that, as you change the configuration, let us generate the WSDL once again. So generate concrete WSDL, and data, and let's call it as addition WSDL. This time we are giving the different name, addition WSDL. It's fine, it getting saved. Then what do? Run the application. So we run the application and say apply and debug, and let's wait till the BW application is getting started. So let's wait till BW application started successfully, that message comes. It might take time, so let me do one thing. Let me just wash it out and let me run it once again. So let's wait. Okay, so now, okay, started BW application. So your web service is running fine. Let us check from this whether I can run this and it can connect to the localhost or not. Let's see that. Perfect. So it seems whatever that module property is there, that's not working. So maybe value is not set properly in that. So here what we have, once we change that to localhost, and it sent this request to the web service, and web service sent the response with this. So this is what the addition of two numbers is. Let us change the number maybe in the input XML. Let us change the number 150 and 230, and let's test it again. You can see that 380 is the result. So that's how our SOAP based web service is implemented in TIBCO BW 6.x. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video.